HBO, or you probably heard his album. And I asked Emo if he had anything special he'd like to promote, and he said no. But as you know him, probably as Emo Phillips, the man Oliver North dreams about. I said, do you have anything special coming up? He said, yeah, I'll be at the Roxy in 3 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Emo Phillips.
My mind shot from the other side of things that live and breathe and die. Never asked the reasons why it passed through my brain so fast. My friends, I'm free at last. Now lay me down to sleep, I pray
Oh. Get down, honkies. And I want to say shalom and Happy New Year to all our friends in the Judaic persuasion. I was in Jerusalem last year. Oh, I was so embarrassed. I'm at the Wailing Wall, standing there like a moron with my harpoon. Let's hear it for the goy, Oh, boy. Just such a nice day today, wasn't it? Beautiful. I love the fall is coming. Remember when I was a little kid, I loved the fall. My dad used to spend all day raking the leaves in a big pile. And I'd come out of nowhere and I'd jump into the pile and I'd go, woo, woo, woo. And he'd pull me out and brush the flames off. Memories. We have a close family. I was in bed the other night and I heard my parents in the next room arguing about me. You know how parents will argue, saying stuff like, oh, I told you he'd live. The other night I had an argument with my father. I argued that Plato was the father of philosophy. My dad takes the opposite position, that I should wax the kitchen floor. I said the kitchen floor doesn't exist. At least not in the permanent, eternal sense. The concept floor does, according to Plato. He said, do you think the concept of your skull exists? I said, yes. And then he surprised me by juxtaposing the two concepts. He said, I want to see my face in that floor. So I tripped him. Well, yeah. Well, it's nice to be here, and you're so lucky to live here in D.C., the best town our money can buy. Beautiful here. I saw the Washington Monument. I don't know. Do you think that looks like him? Maybe without the wig, I don't know. Oh boy, here's a hot mama. Hello, Miss Waitress, how are you? Oh. Never got this far before. Oh, you're a live one. But still, I think I'd manage. Yeah. Well, it's nice to be here in D.C., and I'm sorry Joe Biden dropped out of the race. I was for Joe Biden. I thought, well, here's a guy that's going to devote a large part of the national budget toward baldness research. You get older and you worry about stuff like that. I just turned 31. It's a drag. Turning 30 is fun. You get to collect on a lot of family wagers. Yeah. Although I made out like a bandit this year. Got some new underwear. Well, new to me. Yeah, people get older. My nephew had a birthday. and I went to entertain at his party. I put on my clown outfit, you know, and he said, Uncle Emo, you're a lousy clown. I want to see your trick. So I took his dog and twisted him into a balloon. You know? And I said, okay, blow up the candles on the coleslaw. He said, I want to make a wish. I want to make a wish. So I grab him by the ankles and start spinning him. He goes, wish, wish, wish. And I threw him into the wall. I knew what he really meant. But I thought, what a good time to warn him about the dangers of homonyms. And I said, okay, let's go to the playground. He said, I don't want to go to the playground. I'm not supposed to leave. I said, what, are you going to spend your whole life in that plastic bubble? So I take him to the playground. I go to the playground all the time to watch the little kids jump up and down and scream because they don't know I'm using blanks. And it's good exercise for the little tykes. And he says, Uncle Emo, give me a push on the swings. So I push him, he says, harder. So I push him, he says, give me a real push, you wimp. So I get about 50 feet back and I run and I push him, he says, give me a real push, you pansy. So I backed up the Buick. He got out of the way. Whatever happened in the good old days when kids worked in factories? You know? Once when I was a kid, I wandered out onto the highway by our house. Oh, I must have been caught in that median strip for 3 hours as the cars are wishing by me. Ooh, I still shudder every time I see the film my dad took of it. Oh boy. Yeah, my mom was very nice. Once I almost died from drinking bleach because my mother transfers it into the floor wax bottle. Real bright. But she was nice. We'd go walking downtown and we'd see a wino sleeping in the gutter. And, you know, she'd always give me a quarter for the wino. I'd put it in his mouth and ride him for a few minutes. Yeah! Oh, live and learn. Well, nice to be indoors. How are you two guys? Okay? So, what's your name, bro? Mark? Is that with a C or a K? So it's Mark. My name is Emo, not to be confused with the Australian bird, the emu, which is a tall, ugly, skinny creature with a big beak. No similarity there. Oh, boy. Oh, anyway, I found our cat the other day. Well, I would have found him a week ago, but we have a grass bag on the lawnmower. And... well, see, my mom said, Emo, my woman's club is coming over. Mow the lawn. I said, let them graze, you know? Anyway, I'm mowing the lawn, and I run over this rock, and it shoots across the street, misses our neighbor's eye by 3 inches. Hits him in the other eye. And he starts crying. He said, I'm going to sue you for $10 million. I hope you have insurance. So I covered him with gasoline. I said, I've just got fire insurance. You'll have to meet me halfway on this thing. And he said, are you going to pay for this through the nose? I said, well, here's the first installment, you know. Weirdo. I slunked off ignominiously. Oh, boy. Well, the big news is this Bork hearing. Have you been following that? Yeah, you know what it's taught me? With every issue, there's 2 sides. And the more you learn about both sides, the harder it is to decide until finally you know everything and you're totally undecided. So I figure if I can maintain total ignorance, which isn't easy, but I try, I'm just as well off as if I'd studied it for 6 years, and I've all that extra time to play Pac-Man. Thank you. Well, I don't know. It's nice to live in this beautiful city. I did some running today. You might have seen me by the Jefferson Memorial. I ran 3 miles. Finally, I said, "Lady, take your purse." You know. It's that important. Yeah. See, I don't steal at all. Once I tried shoplifting. I put I had a secret pocket installed in my pants. Yeah, but I'm walking out, someone bumps into me and sets off the hedge trimmer. And, oh boy. See, our neighbor was just arrested. He was a sniper. And the police got him just in time. I kind of suspected. Once he said, "Emo, could you go to the store for me?" I said, "Do you have a list?" He says, "Yeah, but if you go, I'll cross your name off, you know." Anyway, I go to the supermarket. And I think, is this a good melon or a bad melon? And I squeeze it, and part of it slips to the linoleum, and this old lady comes and trips and cracks her head. I thought, bad melon. Naughty melon. Anyway, I see a 3-pound chunk of hamburger, and it's on the list, you know. And I thought, I don't have any money. He's going to kill me. So I put it into my shirt. First of all, never shoplift in a fishnet shirt. Okay. Anyway, I'm walking out. The manager reaches into the shirt, pulls out the hamburger. I said, "Ooh, aren't they homely when they're premature?" And, oh boy. Yeah, live and learn. No pain, no gain, as my dad would say as he'd hold my head in the vise. So, how are you two? A lovely couple. What's your name, miss? Luma? Uma? Oh, how stupid of me. Uma. What nationality is Uma? India, huh? That's nice. Don't worry, I'm not going to take her away. Don't get territorial and start peeing around her chair legs. Holy Gewalt. Yeah. India, huh? So what brings you to America besides extreme good fortune? Huh? What? You married her? No? I thought she needed you to stay in the country. No? That's nice. It's nice to be on. Are you going to tie the knot or use some other form of protection? Well, I had a date once. I called up this girl. I said, "Hello, is Sherry there?" They said, "Who is it?" I said, "Emo." They said, "She's not home." I said, "What do you think? You know, I don't have a telescope." And I go to her house, and her father sits me down. He said, "I'll be frank." I said, "You look like a giant anthropomorphic wiener. You might as well." And I thought I'll impress him. I reach across the table, I pull a fly off his nose. Turns out to be a boil. And he said, "I want to test your resourcefulness. What if you went to take a shower one day and there was no water?" I thought, oh great, a 2-part question. Anyway, Sherry comes down this staircase, and had a test like that once. We get in the car, and we're driving along, you know, and we come to a dark, secluded spot, and we both get in the back seat, and the car speeds out of control. And that night, I came home, I said, "Dad, I smashed the car. I'm sorry." And he said, "Emo, I'm the one who's sorry. I trusted you to be mature enough to drive the family car. I was wrong. It was my fault. It was my mistake." I said, you moron. You could have killed me. Don't ever pull crap like that again. And that snapped him out of his Dick Van Patten mode. It was making me puke, you know. He said, I raised you 16 years and this is the thanks I get? I said, I guess so. Beat me up. His beatings never hurt, you know, because I'd be unconscious so quickly, you know. And, hello, how are you today? What's your name, miss? Camille. Walk a mile for a Camille. You're a tease. Saucy little sexual pit bull. Yeah. I'm quite handy with the ladies. I leave them screaming for more. Almost immediately. You know, Camille, you probably think you're superior to my girlfriend, don't you, huh? Just because you're real. Oh. Well, little Miss Tangible, I'm quite handy with the ladies. I'm a great lover, I bet. The other day I was going, hey lady, your slip is showing, and they'd look down and see me in the manhole. Yeah. I said to my girlfriend, I said, will you marry me? She said, well, I have to ask my father. So we had a seance. And Jack Ruby says hello. Yeah. You know, I said, I got her, I said, I spit it out. I didn't say that. I said, what do you want for your birthday? She said, I don't know, surprise me. Just give me something crazy and expensive I won't even need. So I signed her up for radiation treatments. Woman. You can't live with them, and you can't get them to dress up in a skimpy little Nazi outfit, you know. Hit you with the trombone. Anyway, she's very sexy. She has these black fingernails. Ever see a girl with black fingernails? I do. Turns me on. I mean, I'm not going to slam the door on her hand again, you know, but... you know, I like it when they dress to tease. How are you today, Mr. Pretend Stud? What's your name, homeboy? Huh? Adam, huh? Well, Adam and Eve, right? No. No, you know what I mean. Adam is Hebrew for man. Did you know that? You're a Catholic. Oh, so you don't know anything about the Bible then, huh? See, I'm not Catholic. I go to confession all the time, though. I say, bless me, Father, for I have sinned. I'm just in here to develop film. Oh, they hate that. They might wear dresses, but they can pack a wallop. You know, with those rings they have. Ooh. See, I'm into the Catholic Church, of course, because I always thought when I was growing up, I was going to be a saint. Saint Emo. Doesn't that sound nice? Because every Christmas morning, in what I thought was a miracle, my shoulders and chest would bleed in the sign of the cross. Of course, now I take the pins out of my new shirts, you know. When you're a kid, you don't know, you know. Once my mom gave me $1 for Sunday school, and I spent it on Twinkies. You know, mothers could tell. I come home, she said, Emo, what's that white stuff all around your mouth? And thinking quickly, I go, and I bit her on the thigh. And she changed me to a tree. My parents are very fundamentalist Baptist, you know, which is nice, because that's what I am. And then my dad used to say, do you have faith in the Lord? And I'd say, yes. And he'd say, then stand up and shout, hallelujah. You know, and I'd say, well, you know, I mean, we were in a roller coaster at the time, you know. And it's a test of faith I'm not ready for. Once, my dad, I was just a little kid, he caught me burning ants with a magnifying glass. And he comes, he says, who do you think you are, God? I said, no, I can only torture them until they die, you know. And I haven't mastered the trick of doing it forever and ever, you know. Yeah. But I'm very religious. When I was a kid, I used to pray every night for a new bicycle. And then I realized the Lord doesn't work that way, so I just stole one and asked him to forgive me. I got it. One for Emo. A lot of weirdos in this world. But I think societies, how about those Siamese twins? Isn't that amazing what science can do these days? I mean, my cousins, I wish they had that. They were Siamese twins connected at the hip. We used to have fun with them. You know, we'd play softball and pick them for different sides, you know. Just for fun. I used to always be the catcher, which I liked. Until one day I saw a game on television. I said, well, hold on there now. How come that catcher doesn't have his hands tied to his ankles? Iranian rules, apparently. Yeah, a lot of weirdos in this world. Oh, my brother says hello. So, hooray for speech therapy. Yeah, we have a close family. I feel sorry for my poor sister. After 10 years of marriage, she found out the preacher was phony, and now she's not legally married, and now she's got to lose all that weight. And yeah, she just had a baby. Of course, we could have company over. She'll be in front of everyone with their breast out, feeding him cereal or what have you. The other day, I'm pushing him through the park, and he's crying, you know, because I forgot the stroller. And I'm trying to rinse out his diaper in the toilet. You ever rinse out a baby's diaper in the toilet? Ooh, I accidentally let go of his foot. And he's spitting. And I'm trying to get him out with a plunger. You can't use Drano. That hurts a kid, apparently, you know, if you have any maternal instincts. And now he's a blue baby because of the tidy bowl. Oh, we have a close family. You know, probably the biggest influence, people ask me, who are you influenced by growing up? And I say it's my grandfather. He never let anyone push him around. You know, he's very proud of that mechanized wheelchair. And once he stayed with our family after being released from the mental hospital, and the first night he wakes me up in the middle of the night and says, Emo, guess which hand? So I pick this one, and he opens it up. There is the severed head of my pet Chihuahua. And he said, what? I said, what? He said, call me irresponsible. He knew how to win me back. Oh, boy. We used to go fishing. You ever go fishing, Adam? What do you go after? Breakfast? We used to go fishing, me and my grandfather. We'd be in the boat in the middle of the lake, and I'd say in my best Norman Rockwell-ish voice, I'd say, Grandpa, were there fish when you were a kid? And he'd chuckle and say, well, I reckon there were. Yep, I reckon I'm not that old. Yep, I reckon there were. Yep, I reckon I'm not that old. You know, and he'd go on for half an hour until I'd say, well, I'm just patronizing you, you senile old involuntary methane producer. And I don't know. Oh, live and learn. Memories. So, how are you today? You think I have astigmatism or something? Or where are you from? College Park, Maryland. Yeah. Come on. Why, is something bad about College Park, Maryland? You gotta dump the chemicals someplace. Isn't that right? You have Sludge Mountain or whatever you got there. I don't know. Yeah, I like this area, you know. I was in Alabama. You ever been there? Yeah. It's a nice place, you know. I think I've always said that for hospitality and friendship, you just can't beat the slave states, you know. Yeah, I was teasing him because, it was snowing, and I said, you can't even drive when there's an inch of snow on the ground. I was teasing him about that, But to be honest, I'm from the north, and I wouldn't know what to do if my pants were down and there was a pig in the room. So, it works both ways. Although once my mom caught me in bed with a chicken, there was egg on my face. Yeah. But, animals are nice. Once when I was a kid, I had a dog, and I was burying him once. And I put him on the shovel handle, then I accidentally stepped on the blade of the shovel, which acted as a fulcrum, shooting the dog into the street, just as a guy in a Mercedes comes and knocks him 50 feet. And I come out, the guy said, I swore I didn't see him, and he gives me $10 and drives off. At that moment, an entrepreneur was born. I made $200 that week, until the, a young Republican even then. After that, I had a lemonade stand. My secret was the first glass I'd give away, and the second glass I'd charge, $5 for, because it had the antidote. And, there you go. Yeah, it's not easy finding work, is it, Miss India? No. India has the biggest film industry in the world. You know that? Huh? That is true. Right. Very big Indian films. I was at the movies. Do you like crying babies at the movies? I don't. Well, actually, I like to sit behind them. You figure they're going to cry anyway, so you flick them in the head. Who's going to know? That's why they call it the flex, as far as I'm concerned. Once I was at the movies, and there's this really ugly, slimy, repulsive pervert besides me. He said, "Is this seat saved?" I said, well, if Aquinas reasoned that even animals have no souls, how much less chance does an inanimate object like a chair have of gaining salvation, Mr. Theologian, And he said, is anyone sitting there? Ambiguity, the devil's volleyball. Anyway, I'm watching the movie, and he puts his hand on my knee, starts moving it slowly up and down my leg. I thought the joke's on him. It's asleep. What a moron, huh, Uma? What do they call you? Ooh? Uma. Yeah. It's nice name. Are you from India? Where? Here? I'm sorry. Where are you from here? Do you work in the government? What do you do? In the mail? You work for the post office, not as a carrier, though. Mail carrier. You didn't have to come to D.C. to get a government job like that, did you? You could have... No. You're lucky I can't think of anything. Uma, here's something they probably don't have in India, sugarless candy. Would you like a piece? Okay, still remember the Jonestown incident, don't you? Here you go. Very good catch. Yeah, she's a hot mama. Well, I think Washington, D.C., I've been having more fun here than a barrel of overweight claustrophobics. Really, it's exciting to be in our nation's capital. I was at the Capitol building, and the woman at the desk said, would you care to see the rotunda? I said, don't get up, And, yeah. But I love this town. I think this town has attracted the cream of high school hallway monitors from all across the country, Let's have a riddle. Y'all like riddles? Wasn't Chip wonderful, by the way? I thought he's very good. I mean, the last time I saw him, I was rolling in the aisles. I don't know what he said that triggered that brain seizure, but it was fun. Okay, let's have a riddle here. What's the difference? Just testing the audience for Zen Buddhists. I hate them. Oh, sorry, no offense. Are you a Buddhist or a Hindu? A Christian? Jainist? Huh? No religion at all? Well, I guess you get to eat everything that way. Okay. Maybe you could convert her to Catholicism. It's really easy. Okay, let's have a riddle. What's the difference between a bowl of chili and a urologist? One's hot and spicy. The other analyzes urine. No offense. I heard the Prime Minister of India, Desai, used to drink his own urine every morning. I read that. Isn't that true? That's what you heard too? So I'm not making it up. And then he turned down the Pepsi-Cola franchise, which kind of made them feel really good, you know. Yeah. Well, that's too bad, you know. It's not good for you, you know. You know, might as well drink the water in Cincinnati if you're going to do that. Because they have these chemical pollutants. And I don't mind people working in factories. Once I wanted to work in a factory, I was about 20, and the woman at the desk said, "Can you stand long hours, loud noises, hot, sweaty conditions, and horrible smells?" I said, "I hardly know you, you know." And, didn't get any action that way. You want a piece of candy? What's your name? Lorraine? You want a piece of candy, Lorraine? No, you have gum in your mouth? That's good. You chew it on, huh? Pardon me? Do I want it? Do you want to trade? My kind of woman. Yeah, you have everything I've ever looked for in a woman, plus much more, like a head and yeah, she's a sexy little genital guillotine. Yeah. Yeah. Is that your wife? Do you have a lot of kids? How many kids you got? None? Oh. Try turning her over. You never know. Do you have a dog? Oh, okay. Just wondering. Yeah, my dog drinks from the toilet. Does anybody hear of a dog that drinks from the toilet? Yeah, tickles when you read the paper, huh? You get used to it. You depend on it after a while, right, Adam? Yeah. But live and learn. So, anyway, you know, people come up to me and say, Emo, do people really come up to you? And I don't know. You know, I hate being trapped in paradoxes like that. You know, who needs that baloney? I was in a bar a few nights ago, nursing a beer. My nipple was quite soggy. Thank you. And I saw this really sexy girl sitting on a couple of stools. She had a rear end. I suppose it must have been finite. But I had to trust Einstein that eventually it would curve into itself, you know, somewhere in the known universe. It wasn't that big. Only one of its moons even had an atmosphere. Anyway, I go up to her I said, hey, hot mama, we could make beautiful music together. She says, prove it. So I pulled the hair on her mole real tight and go bong, 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 bong. Take the 8 train and we jammed. I said, you want to come back to my place? She said, do you have cable? I said, I'm sure the ropes will be plenty strong enough to hold me. Anyway, we go back to my place, and she lights some candles and incense. She said, all right, Emo, you make the next move. So I sacrificed her poodle to Zorkon, the space god. You know. And it's the one with 8 arms. And she takes off her blouse. Slowly, very slowly. I said, I love it when you tease me nice and slow like that. She said, I have arthritis. I was hot now. She takes off her bra. Her tender bosoms heaved. And so did I. So I'm just sitting with her, chewing the fat. And she said, prove you're a man. So I drank some schnapps and went to a Redskins game. And I'm quite handy with the ladies. Yeah. Well, yeah. What is this stick doing here? Oh, weird thing. Well, I tell you, some mornings it just doesn't pay to gnaw through those leather straps. I woke up this morning with a bloody nose. I thought, ooh, how did this get in bed with me? You know. Ooh. Now, how many people here are like me? Now, I'm no good in the morning unless I've had that first hot piping pot of coffee. And is there anyone here with my weakness? Yeah, oh, I've tried other enemas, but I don't know. Not the same. I woke up, went to the kitchen. My sister made some eggs, so we cooked them. And then we went outside. My sister saying, "Ooh, there's a bug in my eye." So I got the insecticide. And woman, I don't know. What are you gonna do, huh? So, how are you? What's your name? Bob? And that's an anagram, right? No, it's a palindrome. Okay, I'm a mongoloid. Bob, what do you do for fun, Bob? You come here? Besides coming here, you never have fun outside of this place, and that's how it should be for all of you. That's good. Exclusivity arrangement here. That's nice, Bob. I like the simple pleasures myself. The other night, I was listening to one of Haydn's magnificent string quartets while sipping a delightfully rambunctious French Chablis and biting a boil off of my hip. And the phone rings. The operator said, "It's the electric company. Will you accept the charge?" I said, "Yeah," and they sent 4,000 volts through my brain. Well, it's their mistake. I'm not paying for it. You know? Once I was running through the park, and I had a very bad asthmatic attack. These 3 asthmatics jumped me. I know, I should have heard them hiding. And me without my ragweed. There's the irony. Yeah. You know, being here in Washington, you start to think about social issues, don't you? You know you do. I mean, once I was walking by the White House, this guy gives me a pamphlet. It says, "By the time you have finished reading this, another person in the world will have died from..." So I stopped reading right there. I'm not going to kill someone just to finish a stupid sentence. Yeah. Now, I worry about people going hungry overseas, but I worry even more about those that go hungry right here in our nation's capital. Because they're the ones that are going to mug you. Once, I was walking down the street. This guy puts a gun to me. He says, "Stick 'em up." And I do, because you learn how to spot a silent says. And he says, "I'll kill you if you say one word." I said, "Well, the odds against my saying that one word are pretty slim, and with all the words in the English language. It's not some easy word like thou or cat. It's probably some word that triggers an antisocial response in the deep, ugly crevices of your troubled psychoses. Looking at you, I don't know, maybe it's pig-faced or, I don't know, microphallic. Well, I must have guessed it. Because he pulls the trigger and nothing happens. And he pulls it again and nothing happens. And I'm starting to feel uncomfortable for him, I said, "Is the safety on?" And he looks. I thought, here's my chance. And as fast as I could, I scratched my nose, though it was driving me crazy. Anyway, he throws a punch to my stomach. I ducked. And that's all I remember. Live and learn, huh? Yeah. Be sure to leave your waitress 15%. I know you're saying, "Emo, we want to finish the whole drink." But it's mostly ice anyway. Yeah. What's your name? Kimberly. It's a nice name, Kimberly. You want to smoke a joint? I had my grandfather's elbow out in the car. Just remember, stay away from marijuana. Once, I was at a rock concert. Yes. And they're passing a piece of marijuana from person to person in the stands. And just as it gets to me, the music stops. I said, "Okay, I'm out." And I went home. $30 for Donnie and Marie, shot to blazes. Yeah. What's your name, little boy? Huh? Eric, how old are you? 9. That's good. You got to be careful asking people. He might be an old man with one of those weird inquirer diseases or something, This little girl, like 600 years old, that's all it is. Do you go to school? What, 9 years old? So you're what, 3rd grade? 4th. Ooh. Do you like school? No? What would you rather be doing, Eric? Staying home. Well. Don't blame you. But school is where you meet people other than yourself. Now, you stay in school. Because when I was in 4th grade, I never paid attention. And I'm so mad now because I don't know how many times I've had to make a construction paper. I don't know. I'll think of something. I don't know how many times I've had to make a construction paper silhouette of George Washington. There you go. Thank you. Eric. Thank you. Yeah, it's a good time to start a rapport when you're 600 feet away from me and there's 250 people here. Thanks for coming, by the way. I know you could have stayed home and watched the network's new TV lineup. Pardon me? Wait, you could say something. It's okay. It takes my mind off the show. What? Well, a human response. Doug, you're missing Cosby? Yeah. Oh. Well, we only have one TV. And it's a drag, you know. I got home one night, my family's watching, get this, a rerun of Knight Rider. Now what the heck? When I watch TV, I don't want to have to think. I want to enjoy myself, you know? Anyway, Eric, back to you. When I was your age, I was 15, but that's beside the point. When I was your age, once in school, the teacher said, Emo, if you could be an animal, what animal would you be? I said, well, I'd like to be a 75-foot-long tapeworm in your colon. And you can't flatter some people. Once she said, Emo, what's 5/19 plus 4/15? And my brain started to bleed. And she said, take it easy. What's our common denominator? I said, a fondness for little girls. She was, by and large. Anyway, once we were taking a test, and I was copying this other kid's paper, and I guess the teacher heard my Xerox machine. And she said, Emo, am I stupid or were you cheating? I said, yes and no. And she sends me to the principal. You ever get sent to the principal, Eric? No? Okay. Once I was walking down that long, lonely hall, I thought, oh, this is horrible. My friend Jimmy went to the principal last week, and he's still not able to sit down. So I'm praying, oh, please don't let him find me attractive. And I go there. And, I go there. And I sit down. He said, Emo, Emo, Emo. I said, I'm the one in the middle, you drunken slob. He said, how would you like to repeat the 5th grade? I said, I don't know if I can do it exactly, but I'll try, you know. He said, I can expel you. I said, you'll have to catch and eat me first, you know. You sick moron. And he says, Emo, you have to go to the school psychologist. I said, why do I have to go to the school psychologist? So he shows me the petition. I go to the psychologist. He said, Emo, I sense a barrier between us. I said, I'm sorry, I still must have my automatic invisible pomposity shield up. And he says, what does this ink blot look like to you? I said, it's kind of embarrassing. He said, everyone sees something silly. Just tell me what it looks like to you. I said, well, to me it looks like standard pattern number 3 in the Rorschach series to test for obsessive compulsiveness, but that's just me, you know. And he gets depressed. I said, okay, it's a butterfly, you know. He says, what does this ink blot look like? I said, it looks like a horrible, ugly blob of pure evil that sucks the souls of men into a vortex of sin and degradation. He said, no, the ink blot's over there. That's a photo of my wife you're looking at. I said, oh, was that far off? He said, no. And he gives me a chocolate Easter bunny, which I consume, and I think, wait a second, was this a test too? He says, yeah. I said, what does it mean? He said, well, had you eaten the ears first, you'd be ambitious. Had you eaten the feet first, you'd have an inferiority complex. Had you eaten the tail first, you'd have latent homosexual tendencies. And had you eaten the breast first, you'd have a latent Oedipal complex. I said, well, go on. What does it mean when you bite out the eyes and scream, stop staring at me, you know? And, he says, it shows you have a tendency towards self-destruction. I said, what do you recommend? He says, go for it. Well, he's a kidder. Well, you folks have really stayed. You know, really, it's people like you that have come here, and I appreciate that. How many people here have telekinetic powers? Raise my hand. Okay. Oh boy, yeah. Well, my gosh, it's so hard to drive around here, isn't it? With the rush hours and the one-way streets everywhere, remember once I was on the highway with my mom, and I missed the exit, and she says, back up. And I said, back up on the freeway. There's 3 big lanes, more than enough room to make a U-turn like you're supposed to. So I do this. See, my car doesn't steer well anyway. I put a lock on the steering wheel, but I lost the key. And now I can only drive in a straight line. You see, and if I want to turn the corner, I have to go part way into the intersection and turn off the lights and wait for someone to sideswipe me. And, like that, Remember, I called the mechanic. I said, my car starts, but it doesn't move. He said, chuck the trans. So I said to my brother, take off your dress and help me with this thing, will you? I called this other mechanic. I said, I was going down a steep hill, and I went to slam on the brakes, and they didn't work. He says, sounds like you lost a lot of fluid. I said, well, who wouldn't, Yeah. When I got back at that mechanic, I got back at him. He was attempting to scrape the bird droppings off of my windshield. And I never let on that they were on the inside. So that showed him, the moron. Oh, boy. Well, this reminds me of the time. Okay. Want me to do my tribute to Elvis? Thanks, Elvis. Okay. Yeah, you know who my hero was in high school? James Dean. Oh, God, that guy makes sausages. Yeah, high school. I was very fashion conscious even then. Whenever I had a little money, I'd be at the clothing store buying up Nehru jackets like they were going out of style. Yeah. Live and learn. Catholic, huh? Okay. Yeah. So what do you do for a living, Adam? Student, where? Maryland? He likes you. What are you studying? General right now? You don't know yet, huh? What are you, a freshman? Russian studies? You speak Russian? You do? Как вы поживаете? You haven't gotten to hello yet, huh? Yeah, that Maryland's a tough school. Anyway, I'm out at the college. I was in the ROTC program. I went to the same one Ollie North did. I used to ditch all the time. Once I'm walking through campus, my instructor grabs me. He said, Emo, it's been 6 weeks since I've seen you in camouflage class. I said, I'm getting good. He said, give me 10 laps. I said, lick yourself clean, you weirdo. I told him off. Yeah. How are you student too, miss? Yes? I can't hear you. Yes? What are you majoring in? Journalism, huh? Wait. There's my lift. I'll get the next one. Oh boy. Well, you folks have really cheered me up. I needed cheering up. I caught my girlfriend in bed with his other man. I was crushed. I said, get off me, you two. She doesn't make him wear an Edmund Muskie mask. Yeah, it cries, Yeah, it's too bad. I love her. She slept with a few other guys before meeting me, but it was only 10-something. I forget even to which power. And... yeah, she's a tease. Yeah, I'd like to get married, have a couple kids I can probably call my own. You know. People come up to me concerned that I'll reproduce. Well, I don't mind, you know. Maybe I get together with Uma and start up a master race and take over Bethesda. That'll be fun. Yeah. You want to do that? Oh, she's a tease. Yeah. A race of tall people that can run 7-Elevens. No, I'm just kidding. No, I swore I would never make a reference like that. I'm sorry. Just kidding. Okay? If it wasn't for the Indians, I'll get back to you on that one. No, they're nice. The Hindus, you know, it's like if you achieve total perfection in your religion, you turn into a cow, which most other religions is the other way around, you know. But the religion is a weird thing. But I try to live the kind of life so that when I die, there won't be that much of a drop-off. You know, I'm not a fatalist. Even if I was, what could I do about it? You know, I mean, by definition, nothing. You know, I'm a big fan of the Judeo-Christian ethic. And I think the whole concept of monotheism was a gift from the gods. No offense. I remember I was, I don't know, live and learn. That's my motto. You know, let's have another riddle, huh? You show me a man that doesn't like riddles, and I'll say, well, so, you know. What's your point, Mr. Big Cheese? Okay, here we go. Here's a good one here. Like my dad used to say, he'd say, we go to the cottage in Michigan, and he'd say, last one in the lake is a rotten egg. He'd always let me win, you know, by giving me the sharper ice pick. All right, here we go. Yeah, you go to my house and you see my prints in the cement. It's when I was 3 years old. It's amazing how much bigger my face has gotten since then, you know. I wish it would have been wet. That's all I would have wanted. Okay. Let's have a riddle here. Knock, knock. Dave Kowalski, a friend of mine in high school. They get tougher. Don't get mad because you couldn't get it, huh? Yeah, well, live and learn. So who do you like in the Democratic among the candidates for president? Bork? Who? Biden? So it's against Biden and no one. It'll be a close race. Are you all Republicans? Hey! That's good. Okay, not everyone has a job. Yeah. But do they have, Libby, I've always been dying to ask this of an Indian. Do you have coleslaw in India? No? Because there's a lot of mayonnaise. It probably spoils, right? Because of the lack of refrigeration, and plus you worship rats and they eat it all. They do worship rats, right? I mean, the good-looking ones. You don't worship rats? Huh? The Hindus do. You guess so. Well, if you don't know, I certainly don't, because I'm from America. That's nice. Speaking of rats and coleslaw, once I was making coleslaw, and this... Amen! I was making coleslaw, and this mouse ran across the countertop. He had 5 legs. And I accidentally decapitated him. You like the iambic pentameter there? Accidentally decapitated. And I couldn't find the head anywhere. which now that explains to you what decapitated means. And that night everyone said, Emo, this coleslaw is the cat's meow. How little did they know. Because this woman reaches into her mouth and pulls out the head of the rodent. Thinking quickly, I said, we have a winner! And I gave her my lava lamp. No, people are picky about coleslaw. I don't blame you, Nanuma. I made my grandmother some coleslaw. I guess I must have chopped the pieces up, I didn't chop them up fine enough, because it clogs her IV. And I'll never forget that horrible evening. I took my grandmother to the emergency room, and after an hour of pacing back and forth, the doctor said, Emo, your grandmother's on an artificial life support system, but although her brain is dead, her heart is still beating. I thought, oh my gosh, we've never had a Democrat in the family before. Oh, it was horrible. Although that Reagan's no better. He's cutting out all the money to the useless. I mean, the disadvantaged. I'm sorry, Nietzschean slip. Anyway, well, you folks have really cheered me up. I needed cheering up. I loaned a friend of mine $8,000 for plastic surgery, and now I don't know what he looks like, So that was a bad mistake on my part. But I just want to say in conclusion that if there's any girls here that want some emo action, well, I'm quite the handy one with the ladies. In fact, I was with this girl the other night, and I don't want to brag, but from the way she was responding to my skillful caresses, you would have sworn that she was conscious. From the tip of her head to the tag on her toes. She was all right. Back in high school, my buddies tried to put the make on anything that moved. And I said, why limit yourself? I mean, high school, you're never satisfied with your appearance anyway, right? Either you have blemishes or you need braces. Like I had a vestigial tail, a 15-inch bone sticking out of my spinal column. And every night I'd pray to God to please remove the vestigial tail. Either that or turn my head around 180 degrees, And he did. So I want to thank you very much, and always remember as you go home the last words of my grandfather, who said, a truck. And as the skiers say in Israel, slalom. And I want to apologize in conclusion to all the guys here who are with hot mamas. You know who you are. You'll be going home tonight with your saucy little Washingtonian babes. And you'll be, and they'll be screaming, emo, emo. So, please forgive me. Thank you for being my friends. Bye-bye. Good night. Thank you. Bye-bye. Quite handy with the ladies. Thank you. Good night. Bye-bye.
It twists our thoughts and racks my bones and crowds around my head. I've seen the second coming. He walks right next to me. He looks at you with face and warm and never have to see. The flesh on the wall. The flesh on the wall. Stands so strong and thought can't be touched.
Okay. Oh, boy. Well, I just want to say how nice it is to be here in Washington. I'm glad I missed the hot summer. I love the fall. Remember when I was a little kid, remember my dad used to spend all day raking the leaves in a big pile. And I'd come out of nowhere and I'd jump into the pile and go, woo, woo, woo. I'm caught in a loop. Oh, you want an autograph to sign? HBO. Right, very good. You saw me on HBO. Thank you very much for coming here, because here, I'll sign your thing. No, I only have time to do a couple. I'm not Red Skelton or anything. Okay. What's your name, bro? Mark? Yeah, throw it up. I mean, swallow it first. Oh, you're a hot mama. I think Bork looks like Burl Ives. Why do people hate him so much? The Big Rock Candy Mountain. Okay. Burl Ives, you know who that is? Hi, Mark. Best of luck with your new skull. Your only living friend, Emo. Didn't mean to get you in the face there, but you know, I saw a legal precedent. Okay, here, Kimberly. Ooh, Michelangelo. Okay. Thank you, my dear. Yeah, you know, Kimberly, I'll be going home to my little hotel room and I'll be watching the tube as it carries nutrients into my arm. And you make me wish I never had that accident through the turnstile. I love the subways here in Washington. It's great. I miss the ones in New York, you know, so I like to spray a little urine everywhere I go, you know. Once I was waiting for the subway in New York and they're so loud there, and I put my fingers in my ears and seem to have overestimated the number of my limbs. Did you ever do that? I put my fingers and this guy bumps my elbow, my finger gets stuck and it starts to bleed. So thinking quickly, I go, I'm a little teapot, short and stout. And I managed to leave with some dignity. Well, so live and learn. Who's saying yeah like a retard? Emo, thank you. Do you have a question up there? How's Downers Grove? It's not the same since you left. But of course the disease rate has gone down. So you missed the truth. But thank you, hot mama. You're a sexy little whatever. Ran out of metaphors. Any other questions? Why is there air? I guess for something between your ears. I don't know. Otherwise your skull would cave in, you know. Any other questions? Emo stands for? Not much these days. Anything else? Wait, I'm sorry, the person mumbling. Pardon me? Where'd I get my pants? Bought 'em. Any other questions? This is a kind of rapport that Phil Donahue would envy, you know? What religion? I'm fundamentalist. Are you from the South? I'm sorry. No, I like the Southerners very much. I was in Alabama, and I was talking to the club owner, and he said, Emo, I'm late for my Hebrew class. I said, you're learning Hebrew? He said, no, this is how to spot them. Anyway, how do you spot them? With a little magic marker. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway. You want another riddle? Okay, keep your pants on, as Liberace never said. Here we go. It's another riddle here. Thank you for remembering. Okay. How do you stop an elephant from charging? Very good. Well, what's my favorite animal? My favorite animal is the lightning bug. I love the way they glow. I like to smear them all over my mug and pretend I'm from Chernobyl. Well, pardon me? Who's my favorite Republican candidate? I like Cuomo. Pardon me? Is he a liberal? Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I like, who's one? Bush, okay, Bush. I kind of like Dole. Pardon me? Well, that would certainly get him a year-long invitation to stay at your pad, wouldn't it? Your turn. One for Emo. Well, just want to say, thank you. Yeah, this is as much of a chant as I'm going to get, No. Yes, wait. Oh, no. Please. This is how the Antichrist will get started. No, it's embarrassing. My middle name? Emo Mr. Stud. Because my folks would put me inside the plaster walls, when they were hammering to stop the noise. Anyway, I just want to wish you a nice winter. I love the winter. I remember my favorite time of year was the first snow. How about yourselves? Me too. I'd wake up and I'd scream, "Yippee, snow!" And I'd run to the front door and I'd go, "You know the deal. Let me in now." Well, and drive safely. Once I was on the highway and I'm swerving all over because I'm trying to change the radio, And just as I got the old one taken out, the state trooper pulls me over. Well, I shouldn't make fun of his speech impediment. It was more like that, you're right. And he says, "Walk a straight line." So I do. He said, "You call that a straight line?" Now, you can never think of a clever reply until after the guy's gone. I mean, I wished I had said, yeah. But I was nervous, and all I could think of to say was, "Well, Officer Pythagoras, the closest you could ever come to achieving a straight line would be by making an electroencephalogram of your old brain waves." I was under pressure at the time, And anyway, text me to the jail. They said, "Put your fingers in this ink." I said, "Oh, you're fingerprinting me." They said, "No, we come back in an hour, and if your nostrils are blue, you've been picking your nose." I said, "Oh, that's a good idea." He said, "Just do it, you cretin." So they said, and they put me in this jail. And there's this guy smoking a cigarette, a real big guy. And I don't care how big someone is. When it comes to my health, I think of my body as a temple. Or at least as a relatively well-managed Presbyterian youth center, And I said, "Put that out." He says, "No." So I flick it out of his mouth. He said, "I'm going to mop the floor with your face." I said, "You do and you'll be sorry." He said, "Why?" I said, "Well, you won't be able to get into the corners, And And he starts coming after. He says, after I make love to you, I'm going to kill you. I said, ha, if you were a real pervert, you would do it the other way around. And you call yourself an abomination unto the Lord. And he starts to choke me, and I pray, Lord, if you rescue me, I'll go to church every Sunday. Just then the guard comes to tell me my mom had posted bail and I was free to go. So I prayed, thanks anyway. And I had my trial. Oh, the judge calls my name. He says, Emo? I said, yes. He said, Emo Phillips? I said, yes. He said, you're Emo Phillips? I said, well, why don't you keep adding a word each time till your brain explodes, He said, haven't I seen you on TV? I said, I don't know. You can't see through the other way. He said, do you have any idea what the penalty for drunken driving is here in Massachusetts? I said, re-election to the Senate? I don't know. Well, I gotta go. Thank you very much for being my friends. You've been wonderful. Bye-bye. Thank you, Washington, D.C.
Don't be sad just because of me. I know I say things I don't mean. It's the young boy inside of me.
How's that for production value? Oh, boy. Oh, it's so nice to be back here in our nation's capital, Washington. I'm glad I'm not here during the summer. This place has a certain magic during the fall. I love the fall. Remember when I was a little kid, my dad used to spend all day raking the leaves in a big pile. And I'd come out of nowhere and I'd jump into the pile and I'd go, woo, woo, woo. And he'd pull me out and brush the flames off. Memories. Oh, we have a close family. I was in bed the other night and I heard my parents in the next room arguing about me. You know how parents will argue, saying stuff like, oh, I told you he'd live, Yeah, had a big argument with my father. Oh, I argued that Plato was the father of philosophy, and my dad takes the opposite position, that I should wax the kitchen floor. I said the kitchen floor doesn't exist. I mean, at least not in the permanent, eternal, perfect sense that the quintessential concept kitchen floor does, according to Plato, And he says, do you think the concept of your skull exists? Yeah, and then he surprised me by juxtaposing the two concepts. He said, I want to see my face in that kitchen floor. So I tripped him, Well, he wasn't expecting Zen. Not at all. Well, I am kind of disappointed that Biden had dropped out of the race, because I think he was probably the only candidate that, if elected, would have devoted a large part of funding toward baldness research. So So that's sad. Reagan doesn't care, you know. I just turned 31, and you start thinking about stuff like that, you know. Turning 31 is not a happy experience. Turning 30 is fun, you know. You get to collect on a lot of family wagers, you know. Although this year, to be honest, I made out like a bandit. I got some new underwear. Well, new to me. Yeah. My nephew just had a birthday, and I babysat. You know, he turned 6. I did some magic tricks, took his dog and twisted him into a balloon, you know. And I said, okay, blow out the candles on the coleslaw. And he said, I want to make a wish. I want to make a wish. So I grab him by the ankles and start spinning him. He goes, wish, wish, wish. And I threw him into the wall. I knew what it really meant, but I thought, what a good time to warn him about the dangers of homonyms. I said, let's go to the playground. He said, I'm not supposed to leave here. I said, what, are you going to spend your whole life in that plastic bubble? So I take him out. See, I go to the playground all the time to watch the little kids jump up and down and scream, because they don't know I'm using blanks. And it's good exercise, you know, for him. And I take him to the playground, and he says, Uncle Emo, give me a push on the swings. You know, so I push him. He says, harder. So I push him. He says, give me a real push, you wimp. So I get about 50 feet back, and I run, and I push him. He says, give me a real push, you pansy. So I backed up the Buick. Well, he got out of the way. Whatever happened to the good old days when kids worked in factories, you know? I mean, once when I was a kid, I wandered out onto the highway by our house. Oh, I must have been on that median strip for 3 hours as the cars are whooshing by me. I still shudder every time I see the film my dad took of it. Oh boy. Well, I want to say Happy New Year. Do we have any Jewish people here? Well, okay. I guess I was in Jerusalem last year. I was so embarrassed. I was at the Wailing Wall, standing there like a moron with my harpoon. You know. Let's hear it for the goy. You know how it is. Yeah. Yeah, it's weird. Happy New Year. If there's any Hebrew party animals, you know. I'm a party vegetable myself. I was at a party, and I said, turn down that Beethoven. They said, it's Mozart. So I'm trying to read the label, you know. Finally, I wise up, and I take out the cassette. And that was fun. Oh, boy. So how are you today? What's your name? Seth? How old are you, Seth? 16. So what do you do for fun, you little whippersnapper? Or have I answered my own question? I'm sorry. You're a neat guy, Seth. Yeah. You in high school? You know, when I was in high school, I was very fashion conscious, even back then. Whenever I had a little money, I'd be at the clothing store buying up Nehru jackets as if they were going out of style. So what are you going to do when you grow up, Seth? You don't know yet, huh? You've been following the Borg debate? No? That's good. I figured it's a waste of time learning about stuff, because whenever you have an issue, like Borg or Iran versus Iraq, it's like the more you learn about the whole thing, the more you realize that both sides are about, have a lot going for them, and finally you don't know what to think. So I just try to maintain a state of total ignorance, and then I have all that extra time to play Pac-Man. That's what I do. I love Washington. There's something about, this is a great city, it attracts the cream of the high school hallway monitors from all across the country. Something about, I saw the Washington Monument. I don't know. Do you think that looks like him? Maybe without the wig, maybe. But this is a wonderful, wonderful city. You know what I love best about it? The subways. I was just in New York, and I put it's so loud on the platform, I put my fingers in my ears, and seem to have overestimated the number of my limbs. Did you ever do that? And I put my fingers, it's so loud, and this guy bumps me, and my finger gets stuck in my head, and it's, kind of, I can't get it out, and people are staring, and I'm not used to that, so, thinking quickly, I go, I'm little teacup, short and stout, this is my handle, and I managed to leave the situation with my dignity nicely intact. Yeah, a lot of weirdos in this world. I think it's wonderful, medical science with those Siamese twins. Isn't that something? Like, I had Siamese, my cousins were Siamese twins connected at the hip. And we always try to make them feel better by including them in the fun. Like, we play softball and pick them for different teams, Yeah, I liked baseball when I was a kid. I was always the catcher, which I liked, until one day I saw a game on television, and I said, well, hold on there now. How come that catcher doesn't have his hands tied to his ankles? Well, no pain, no gain, as my dad would say as he'd hold my head in the vise. Yeah, we have a nice family. Yeah. Oh, my brother says hello. So hooray for speech therapy. Yeah. The other day I called the mechanic. I said, my car starts, but it doesn't move. He said, check the trans. So I said to my brother, take off your dress and help me with this thing, will you? No help at all, I called this other mechanic. I said I was going down a steep hill, and I went to slam on the brakes, and they didn't work. He said, sounds like you lost a lot of fluid. I said, well, who wouldn't, Oy, 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 oy. So, who else do we have? Hello, how are you? Is that a uniform you have on? Oh, I thought you were a garbage man. Yeah, well, no, I see like a thing there on your arm. It's a thing on your arm. Right. Well, I'm sure you're very familiar with it. Yeah. So you're not a garbage man? Not today, huh? Well, it's Jewish New Year. You don't want to... Yeah, it's not, you don't see a lot of Jews the further south you guys work in a club in Alabama, and the owner said, I'm going off to my Hebrew class. I said, you're studying Hebrew? He said, no, this is how to spot them. Thing about people way down south, see, I'm from Chicago, and see, they don't know how to drive when there's snow on the ground. Of course, to be fair, I wouldn't know what to do if my parents were down and there was a pig in the room. So, who am I to throw stones, But I love the South. I do. I've always said that for love and hospitality and friendship, you just can't beat the slave states. Yeah, I mean that. Well, the new TV season is upon us, so that's why I'm out. And See, I got home one night, my whole family's watching a rerun of Knight Rider. Now, when I watch TV, I don't want to have to think. And you can't go to them. I was at the movies. Do you like crying babies at the movies? See, I like to sit behind them. You figure they're going to cry anyway, so you flick them in the head, you know. Who's going to know? Hours of pleasure. Once I was at the movies, and there was this really ugly, slimy, repulsive pervert besides me. Okay. There must be inflection. And he says, "Is this seat saved?" I said, "Well, if Aquinas reasoned that even animals have no souls, I mean, how much less chance does an inanimate object like a chair have of gaining salvation, Mr. Falwell?" And he said, "I mean, is anyone sitting there?" Ambiguity, the devil's volleyball. And he puts his hand on my knee, starts moving it slowly up and down my leg. I thought the joke's on him. It's asleep. What a moron, huh? So I got out of that one with my dignity intact. Oh boy. I learned a lot about dignity from my grandfather. He never let anyone push him around. He's very proud of that motorized wheelchair. You know? Remember, he used to say, "Emo, you could fill a cow's head with coleslaw, but you can't make him aware of the fact, especially if you were to remove his brain to make room for the coleslaw in the first place. Why are you staring at me? I'm not going back to the mental hospital. Take this, and this, and this, and this," and that's all I would remember. We used to go fishing in the lake, and I'd say, "Grandpa, were there fish when you were a kid?" And he'd say, "Well, I reckon there were. Yep, I reckon I'm not that old." And I'd say, "I'm just patronizing you, you senile old involuntary methane producer." I don't know. We never saw a Norman Rockwell painting. What's wrong with him? Oh, boy. So here's a nice couple. How are you two? Are you two married? You going to tie the knot or use some other form of protection? Yeah. What's your name, hot mama? Christine. Don't worry, I'm not going to take her away. Don't get territorial and start peeing around her chair legs. Weird guy there, Seth. Yeah. That's nice to be on a date. I had a date once. I was no older than you, Seth. Mentally. I remember I called up this girl. I said, "Hello, is Sherry there?" They said, "Who is it?" I said, "Emo." They said, "She's not home." I said, "Come on, what do you think? I don't have a telescope." And I go to her house, and her father says, "Don't you hate meeting a girl's father?" Real big guy. He says, "I'll be frank." I said, "You look like a giant anthropomorphic wiener. You might as well." I thought I'd impress him, so I reached across the table, grabbed a fly off his nose, and crushed it. Turned out to be a mole. Anyway, he said, "I want to test your resourcefulness. What if you went to take a shower one day and there was no water?" I think, oh great, a two-part question. Just then, Sherry comes down the stairs, and we get into my dad's car. It's my dad's, car. And we're driving along, and I touch her hand, and we're really going at it. I had a rubber glove. I was safe. We come to a dark, secluded spot, and we both get in the back seat. And the car speeds out of control. I walked home. My dad said, "Emo, where's the car?" I said, "Well, I wrecked it." I thought he was going to kill me, but he surprised me. He said, He said, Emo, you wrecked the car? I said, I'm sorry. He said, no, I'm the one who's sorry. I trusted you to be mature enough to handle the family car. I was wrong. It was my mistake. I said, you moron! You could have killed me! Don't ever pull crap like that again! And that snapped him out of his Dick Van Patten mode. He's making me puke, you know. He said, I raised you 16 years and this is the thanks I get? I said, I guess. Don't you feel stupid now, you know? Yeah. When I misbehaved, my dad would make me spend the night in the backyard. Oh, sure, it was only buried to the waist, but still, you get dizzy with that blood rushing to your head. You know? Yeah. My mom's a kidder. She's not the best of housekeepers. Once I almost died from drinking bleach. Because my mother, to save space in the cabinet, transfers the bleach into the floor wax bottle, real sharp. Yeah, well, I remember when I was a kid, me and my mom would go walking downtown, you know, and we'd see a wino sleeping in the gutter, and, you know, she'd always give me a quarter for the wino, and I'd put it in his mouth and ride him for a few minutes. Yeah. Bucking derelicts. Oh, boy. You know, I worry about people going hungry overseas, but darn it, I worry even more about people that go hungry right here in our nation's capital, because they're the ones that are going to mug you. Like, once I was walking by the Jefferson Memorial, it's about 1 o'clock in the morning, and this guy comes up to me with a gun. He says, stick 'em up. And I stare at him, and he says, stick 'em up. And I think, well, you know, it's probably not as Simon Says, you know. I put my hands in. This guy says, I'll kill you if you say one word. I said, well, the odds against my saying that one word are pretty slim. You know, I mean, you're probably not going to trip me with an easy word like the. You know, it's probably some word that has a psychological effect in your brain. The other kids maybe called you it, I don't know, like pig face or microphallic. Well, I guessed it. Because he pulls the trigger. Click, nothing happens. And he pulls it again, and again, nothing. I said, is the safety on? And he goes to look at the gun. I thought, here's my chance. And I scratched my nose. Oh, it was driving me crazy. I said, look, you might kill me, but 1,000 yuppies will rise to take my place. And we'll move into your neighborhood and open boutiques and fern bars and force you to move to Georgetown. And he throws a punch at my stomach. I ducked. Missing the vital organs here. And that's all I remember. So, you're not a criminal? What do you do for a living, bro? No, really? Oh, sure, I know. Wholesale? Huh? Can I get like a volume discount? Pretend it's the Solid Gold Dancers? Shoot them with a BB gun, make them move around a bit, you know. Yeah, that's something. Is that one of them? Oh, no, I'm sorry. Oh. No, it's not my fault. She does have one of those little spouts on her neck. Oh, that's a boil. I'm sorry. What's your name, hot mama? Teresa? Tracy. It's a cute little name. That's nice, Tracy. Is that your boyfriend? No? Is that your boyfriend? Oh, that's nice. Multiracial couple. I think we should ever all intermarry and have do away with all the prejudice, don't you? Well, obviously you do. But so do I. That's nice. That's refreshing. And how are you? What, do you keep score or what? What do you... What's your name, sir, in the blue shirt? Ellis? I know a friend named Ellis. That's your dad? Huh? With one L? No, 2L with it. Anyway. Boy. Well, you've been a lot of fun, but I still have another hour. So, want me to do my tribute to Elvis? Thanks, Elvis. Okay. You know who my hero was in high school? James Dean, huh? Could that guy make sausages? Of course, I'm more of a coleslaw man myself. Not to get anthropomorphic on y'all. Do you like coleslaw? What's your name, Christina? You know, I'll make you coleslaw, hot mama. That'll melt in your mouth, tickle your throat, soothe your stomach, tickle your throat, and melt in your mouth again. In fact, you enjoy it twice as much that way. Once I was making coleslaw, and this mouse ran across the countertop. She had 5 legs. And I accidentally decapitated him. And I couldn't find the head anywhere. That night at this party, everyone said, Emo, this coleslaw is the cat's meow. Then this woman reaches into her mouth, pulls out the head of the rodent. Thinking quickly, I said, we have a winner! Gave her a lava lamp. People are picky about coleslaw. I made my grandmother some coleslaw. I guess I didn't chop the pieces up fine enough, you know, because it clogs her IV. I'll never forget that horrible evening. I took my grandmother to the emergency room, and after an hour of pacing, the doctor said, Emo, your grandmother's on an artificial life support system, but although her brain is dead, her heart is still beating. I thought, oh my gosh, we've never had a Democrat in the family before. Oh, it was horrible. Anyway... No, I'm just kidding the Democrats. I'm just funning with you, you know, because you do that kind of thing. The Reagans know better, you know. A lot of people these days. Guys, give me a pamphlet. It says, by the time you have finished reading this, another person in the world will have died from... So I stopped reading right there. I'm not going to kill someone, you know, just to finish a sentence. So let me take a little poll. How many people heard me on WAVA today? WAVA? A few of you? No, everyone who heard clap, because I want to know if I have to wake up that early again. Okay, that's worth it. I'm glad that you came. Why not? Are you from like the Larry King show? Why can't I ever go on that again? It's a hip station, bro. WHFS? What is that, the polka station here? What is WHFS? Progressive? I like progressive music. I bought this Philip Glass record. You like Philip Glass? I must have listened to it nonstop for 4 hours before I realized that there was a scratch. But he's great. I like him. The reason I talked about getting up early is, you know, some mornings, now be honest, it just doesn't pay to gnaw through those leather straps. You know, I mean, I woke up the other morning with a bloody nose. I thought, ooh, how did this get in bed with me? Ooh. Now, how many people here are like me? I'm no good in the morning. And I don't mean sexually. Wait for me to finish, lady. I'm no good in the morning unless I've had that first hot piping pot of coffee. Anyone here with my weakness? Yeah? Oh, I've tried other enemas. But somehow, they're not the same. I woke up this morning, went to the kitchen. My sister made some eggs, so we cooked them. And, well, I feel so sorry for my sister, because after 10 years of marriage, she found out that the preacher was phony, and now she's not legally married, and now she's got to lose all that weight. You know? Yeah, she had a baby a while ago. Yeah, we could have company over, and she'll be in front of everyone with her breast out feeding him cereal or what have you, farina. The other day, I'm pushing him through the park, and he's crying, because I forgot the stroller. I'm not Dr. Spock, I'm trying to rinse out his diaper in the toilet. You ever rinse out a baby's diaper in the toilet? Ooh, accidentally let go of his foot. And he's spinning. I'm trying to get him out with a plunger. You can't use Drano. That hurts a kid, if you have any maternal instincts. Now he's a blue baby because of the tidy ball, but he's okay. Yeah, I love children. Live and learn. Yeah, that's a cute baby. You come to my house in Downers Grove, on the sidewalk. You can see my prints from when I was 3 years old. Yeah, I don't know. It's amazing how much bigger my face has gotten since then. I just wish it would have been wet while I, did. That's all I care about. Here's a nice couple. How are you? That's good. And there's some people there. That's good. Here's some punk people. Are you punk? Just go to a barber college. That's good. Well, you folks have really cheered me up. I needed cheering up. I caught my girlfriend in bed with this other guy. I was crushed. I said, get off me, you two. She doesn't make him wear an Edmund Muskie mask. I don't know. I remember she's very sexy, Remember I got her I said, what do you want for your birthday? And she said, I don't know, surprise me. Just give me something crazy and expensive I won't even need, So I signed her up for radiation treatments. And, woman. You can't live with them, and you can't get them to dress up in a skimpy little Nazi outfit, and make your naughty flesh say howdy, partner. You're lucky my depth perception is off, young lady. You're soaking right now. Yeah, my girlfriend, she has these black fingernails. You ever see black fingernails on a girl? I don't know. I think it's so sexy. I mean, not that I would slam the, door in her hand again, but I love her, She slept with a few other guys before meeting me, but it's only 10-something. Oh, I forget to which power, even. I'm not UNIVAC. So, we people in the balcony, how are you in the balcony? Hope I don't hear a sick temper saturnist or whatever. I've always wanted to go to Ford's Theater. You ever been there? You could go there, I believe. I saw it in the things to do in Washington, Your picture was in there too, young lady. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. No, don't worry. She's a hot mama. Sexy little bag of estrogen. She makes me wish I never had the accident through the turnstile. Well, I was just in New York City, and I think New York is a very intelligently laid out place. I mean, every city has sewers, right? But how many think to run trains through them? You know. I know what you like. Let's have a riddle. You like riddles? Okay. Yeah, okay. Keep your pants on, as Liberace never said. Here we go. Little riddle here. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. What's the difference? Just testing for Zen Buddhists. I hate those guys. What's the difference between a bowl of chili and a urologist? One's hot and spicy. The other analyzes urine. I don't know. Well, I went to the state capitol the country capital, you know, and the woman at the desk said, "Would you care to see the rotunda?" I said, "Don't get up." I mean, she had a rear end. I suppose it must have been finite. But you had to trust Einstein that eventually it would curve into itself, you know, somewhere. It wasn't that big. Only one of its moons even had an atmosphere. You know, she was sexy, that's for sure. Yeah, I'm quite handy with the ladies. I leave them screaming for more, almost immediately. Yeah. You know, my sister said, "Emo, I have problems leaving the office behind me." I said, "Well, grease the doorway, you know." That'll help you. So who haven't we spoken to here? Hello, how are you? What's your name? Marie, do you want some candy? Yes? You're worried about this Jonestown. Oh my gosh. Oh, those are your knees. Oh, here, you could have this candy now. Here you go. Very good. So whose boyfriend is that? Is that Seth or you? Him, huh? Is that your brother, Seth? Yeah. So it's like he gets the girl and it's like you're like in a John Hughes movie or something, huh? It's pretty sad. You need my tip how to pick up the ladies. You got to learn it young, because when you get older, you know, it's like, you know, like trying to do a circus act with a dead dog or something, you know. Come on up, boy, you know. What you do? So you're still at the age when you can get excited without having the girl, like, you know, wear a clown mask or something. You know. The main thing is you try to get their sympathy. Women like that. Watch how easy it is with Christina. Hey, baby. I'm dying of syphilis. So, not only is she sympathetic, but she knows I've been around the block a few times, sexually speaking. Well, that's good. Live and learn. You know, body language is important. I'm not very good at body language. You know, people tell me I slur my legs. But what do you... So, you sell inflatable dolls, right? Good man. What do you do in back of them? No, I mean... with you in back of him, what do you do? Don't want any inflection. Huh? You're a writer. For who? American Weekly? Is that like for those 6-year-olds that get that? With a little puzzle page? What am I thinking of? Weekly Reader. That's right. You don't write for them, huh? What's American Weekly? It's a neighborhood weekly, huh? Yeah. I think that's the, it's a Mooney paper, isn't it? No, that's the Times, that's right. I've heard the Times is a Mooney-owned paper, is that true? That's good. Well, anyway, you really, this reminds me of the time. Okay. Let's have another riddle, huh? Yeah, it's always time for a riddle. You show me a man that doesn't like riddles, and I'll say, well, so, you know, what's your point? Yeah, here we go. You stay in school, Seth. Remember when I was in grammar school, I never paid attention, and many's the time now that I wish I knew how to make a construction paper silhouette of Abe Lincoln. See, when I was your age, I was a little rapscallion. I used to always spray paint everywhere. Emo was here in 1934, you know, because I was no stranger to the statute of limitations. No stranger at all. Now, well, you know, once when I was your age, this cop caught me soaping windows and smashing pumpkins on Halloween. I would have been in a lot of trouble had it not been my house. One Halloween party, I got kind of tipsy and I threw up all over myself, you know. Luckily, I went as the volcano. And I got first prize, you know. But Seth, remember, don't steal. Don't shoplift. Once I was in a supermarket, I put a 3-pound chunk of hamburger into my shirt, and I'm walking out, the manager reaches into the shirt, pulls out the hamburger. I said, ooh, aren't they homely when they're premature? And I hightailed it out of there, as Rock Hudson would say. But, you know, I thought I was so cool. I installed a secret pocket in my pants. Well, the next day I'm shoplifting, and as I'm walking out of the store, someone bumps into me and sets off the hedge trimmer. Well, there I was. It's important to confess to every murder you can. And the cops know it isn't you, but that way, if you ever actually do kill someone, they say, Emo, you here again? Get out of here. And you're fine. No, I try to keep my nose clean because I'm very religious. See, when I was a little boy, I thought I was going to grow up to be a saint because every Christmas morning I would bleed in the sign of the cross. And now I take the pins out of my new shirts. But back then. See, my dad used to say, Emo, do you believe in the Lord? I said, you bet. He said, then stand up and shout hallelujah. And I fell out of the roller coasters. So it's not good to test people like that. He was a real holy roller, as I am, of course. Once my dad caught, I was like 5 years old, and I was burning ants on the sidewalk with a magnifying glass, you know, the noonday sun, and he said, who do you think you are, God? I said, no, I can only torture them until they die. And, oh boy, they're not ready for theology right when they come home from work. No way, Raul. Once, my mom gave me $1 for Sunday school, and I spent it on Twinkies. And I come home, she said, Emo, what's that white stuff all around your mouth, that white stuff? And thinking quickly, I go, and I bit her on the thigh, you know? Yeah, I used to pray every night for a new bicycle, and then I realized the Lord doesn't work that way, so I just stole one and asked him to forgive me. And got it. Any Catholics here? Chip was talking about Catholicism. I'm not Catholic, but I go to confession all the time. I say, bless me, Father, for I have sinned. I'm just in here to develop film. Is that okay? And they hate that. Well, I was at a wedding. I gave the band $10 to play Feelings. Then I walked around the block a few times to make sure it would have been over with. Because otherwise they might do it while you're there, you know? You got to be careful with that type of thing. So, how are you today? What's your name, mister? John? Yeah. What do you do for fun? Where do you go to school? Where do you go, John? I'm sorry? No, I heard you. I'm just sorry. America University. That's a tough school. What are you majoring in, homeboy? You're undecided, huh? You're a freshman? Good for you. And that's your woman? Do you go to school too? Just your friend? She's pretty good looking. Why don't you know? Seth will take her. Right, Seth? You have no morals at your age. Yeah. Well, what's your name? Ali? A-L-I? O-L-L-I-E? You're not a trans, are you? I mean, a female impersonator. You could tell by the Adam's apple. Although I don't mind transsexuals and how many women fix themselves up to that extent these days, you know? Well, you're very pretty, though. Well, the name like Ali, is that short for something? Melissa. Oh, Alicia. Alicia. What is that, a Latin name or something? Alicia. How do you spell Alicia? A-L-I-C-I-A. Oh, it's like a model name or something, huh? Yeah, that's nice. You're a sexy little genital guillotine. Oh, yes. Yes, indeed. Little Wilbur's gonna find a home tonight. She's dying for the 3 inches. What did I do with that extension? Anyway. Don't worry, bro. I'm not going to take away your woman. I know you're the shy type. You like to get her drunk before you make your move. That's good. I was in a bar once with this girl. I said, you want to come back to my place? She said, do you have cable? I said, I'm sure the ropes will be plenty strong enough to hold me. Her lips said, get away from me, you pervert. But her eyes said yes. Unfortunately, the police tend to believe a woman's lips. And didn't have much luck there. So how are you in the red shirt? How are you in a different shirt? That's good. That's your wife? How many kids you got? No, come on. No. Don't go metric on me now. Would you run them off to the nearest 5 or 10 number? Huh? You're not, declaring your deductions now or anything, Let's have another riddle. I like riddles. Yeah. You want a piece of candy, Alicia? You don't know? You like it? Okay, open your mouth. My kind of woman. Okay. Just testing the diameter there. Okay, here we go. I want to know if I could throw this in your mouth.